Okay, welcome back. Next, I want to demonstrate this lecture recorder. This is kind of a cool feature. You can record the audio of a lecture at the same time you're taking written notes. And these notes, and this is true for all three of the note categories and the flashcards also, you can assign them to a class, or you can also have unassigned if it's just like a general note or lecture or something that's not really assigned to a particular class. Okay, so we do have a class entered though, so we're going to select that class, and if we already had any lectures saved, they would be here, but there aren't any yet, so this is not enabled. So to add a new one, you just come down to new lecture, and the lecture name is the only required field. I'm just going to call this lecture 1, and because it's for a class, any instructors or teaching assistants assigned to that class will be listed here. You can select one of those, or you just type in a new one. The subject is optional. I'll put in a subject. You want the date and the time of the lecture. You can put that in there if you want, and then when you're done, you just save it. And initially this will say loading file. Okay, it's setting up a file for recording to. When it's ready, it'll say ready, and the record button will be enabled. Because this hasn't been recorded yet, the play controls are disabled. What you can do is record it at this point. And once you've got a note file loaded up, this will become enabled, this toolbar here. It's just your standard word processing type toolbar. You've probably used these 100 times before. And when you're ready to begin recording, you just click record. It'll say recording. You can pause or stop the recording at any time. And you can just type your written notes over here. One notes. And I want to get some text in here, and you can go back and correct if you have to. Okay, and let's see, we'll start a new paragraph. New paragraph. Sorry, I can type faster than I can talk faster than I can type. Now, during the course of the recording, you can set like flags. Let's say the lecturer says something like, "This is going to be on the test, so pay attention." You can jump down here, or you just use F2 on the keyboard. Might be more convenient if you're typing anyway, not to take your hands off the keyboard. But you've got these like flags. You think of them like bookmarks too. You just click on one of those, and it'll insert this down here, and I'll show you the time and where you put it in. Then you can just keep typing. Okay, that'll be long enough. And when you're done, you can pause it, like I said, or we'll go ahead and stop it. And again, it'll say standby for a second. It's got to kind of format things, and then when it's ready, it'll say ready again. And you can click record, and it'll pen down to the end, and you can just keep right on going. But right now we're going to stop. We're going to play this, and you're not going to hear what was recorded because I'm recording now this demonstration at the same time, so it won't work. But at this point, you'd be hearing the audio that we just recorded, and you notice this little highlight here. While you're doing the recording, the program will keep track of the cursor position. And see where I backed up? Here I fixed. And then it comes back up. It'll keep track of the cursor position. So when you're listening to it, you can keep track of where in the written notes you were at that point in the recording. Basically, it helps to sync them up. And during the playback, you can jump around. Just click anywhere in the written notes here, and it'll jump back to that point. The audio will jump back to that point. And then the flag you put in, you want to go back to that point, you just click on that, and it'll take you right back to where you were when you put the flag in. So, let's see, what else can I tell you? Let me stop this again. Okay, we'll stop. Okay, and one other thing to show you back, remember when we did the options? Back here, you go to lectures. These are the flags that were available here. This is where you can edit those. You can add new ones or delete them or move them up and down. Just like the categories for your calendar events. It works the same way. You know, you can pick one of them, you can move it up and down, you can delete it, you can add a new one. Okay, and the settings for these, the computer, it'll detect the microphone you've got plugged in. Most of these defaults are going to work. You can play around with them if you want. These down here, the number of seconds to go back and forward in rewind and fast forward mode. When you're playing, this rewind and fast forward button here will be enabled, and clicking those will cause the recording to jump back or forward a certain number of seconds in the recording, and you can adjust that here. The default is 30 seconds, but you can change it. The transcription mode, the seconds to play and the seconds of overlap, those are let me show you. You can just record audio. You don't have to type anything over here at the time. If you want to transcribe something later, you just hit transcription, and it'll play for 5 seconds and then stop, and then it'll play another 5 seconds and then stop. That just gives you a chance to, when you're transcribing stuff, you play a little bit, it'll pause while you catch up the typing, and then continue on. So the number of seconds that it plays and the overlap, it'll go back 1 second and overlap 1 second, just to make sure you don't miss anything. So you can adjust those there in the options as well. And I think that's about it. It's really pretty simple to use, really. We can stop it. Okay. And again, up here we haven't got any saved under not assigned, so there's nothing there. But now we come back to our class. There's our lecture 1. You can load it up, and again, it'll load the file here, and then once it's ready, you can play, transcribe, and you can at any time go back to recording, and it'll just pick up at the end and append the new recording to the old one. Okay, so I think that's about it for this one. Pretty simple. I'm just going to do the lecture notes by themselves, and the next one I'll get into the study notes. So I'll see you there. Okay, this is a quick addendum to this one. A couple of things I forgot to mention. As far as microphones go, when you're recording lectures, you're going to probably want to get an external microphone for that. I would experiment with the microphone built into your laptop first, but it's probably not going to pick up much. The best microphone to use for this is what's called a non-noise canceling condenser microphone. And you can pick those up at like Best Buy. They're about like $20, $25, I think. They're not horribly expensive, but you'll get a much better recording with that. In a classroom or like a lecture hall, the standard desktop type microphone just isn't going to pick up anything. So you need it's called a non-noise canceling condenser microphone, and that'll work good for you. And one other thing I wanted to mention, you don't have to record the lecture as soon as you create it. Like if you've got a class tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock and there's going to be a lecture that you want to record, you can set up ahead of time, like the night before. Like tomorrow we're going to have a lecture, so we can put in, let's call it lecture 2, and our instructor is subject's optional, but let's say this is going to be tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. You can put everything in here, get this set up. Okay, now it's going to go ahead and load it up for you. It does that automatically, but at this point you just go ahead and close the program down, and you don't have to record it right now. And then in the morning when the class starts, you just select this one, load it up, and start recording. Okay, so you don't have to record as soon as you build it. I just wanted to mention that. So okay, that's all. Thanks. Okay, one more quick addendum. Keep forgetting things. You can export the audio from the lectures that you record. Simply just come to Utilities, Export Lecture Audio, and then select the class and the lecture. And remember, we created a lecture too. We created the file, but we haven't actually recorded anything yet, so that's why it's not available here. This is the only one that we've actually recorded. Okay, and then you can just select a location on your hard drive where you want to export to, and select the format, and then click Export. And that way you can export the audio out to, if you want to put it on an MP3 player and listen to it while you're working out or something. This is how you can do that. Okay, so okay, that's it. I promise. Thanks.